it's important to note that at every step that we've taken over the past 6 years, we were told our goals were misguided, they were too ambitious, that my administration's policies would crush jobs and explode deficits and destroy the economy forever. One Republican in Congress warned our policies would diminish employment and diminish stock prices. Diminish stock prices. Stock market's doubled since I came into office. Corporate balance sheets are stronger than they have ever been because of my terrible business policies. One Republican senator claimed we faced trillion-dollar deficits as far as the eye can see. Another predicted my reelection would spike gas prices to $6.60 a gallon. I don't know how he came up with that figure. $6.60. My opponent in that last election pledged that he could bring down the unemployment rate to 6% by 2016, next year. At the end of next year, it's 5.5 now. And right here in Cleveland, the leader of the House Republicans, a good friend of mine, he captured his party's economic theories by critiquing mine with a very simple question. Where are the jobs, he said. Where are the jobs? I'm sure there was a headline in the Plain Dealer, one of the papers. Where's the jobs? Well, after 12 million new jobs, stock market that's more than doubled, deficits that have been cut by 2/3, healthcare inflation at the lowest rate in nearly 50 years, manufacturing coming back, auto industry coming back, clean energy doubled. I've come not only to answer that question, but I want to return to the debate that is central to this country and the alternative economic theory that's presented by the other side. Because their theory does not change. It really doesn't. It's a theory that says if we do little more than just cut taxes for those at the very top, if we strip out regulations and let special interests write their own rules, prosperity trickles down to the rest of us. And I take the opposite view. And I take it not for ideological reasons, but for historic reasons, because of the evidence. We know from the facts that they're there for all to see that America does better, our economy does better, everybody does better when the middle class does better, and we've got more ladders for people to get into the middle class if they're willing to work hard. We do better when everyone grows together, top, middle, bottom. And just as more working families are finally beginning to feel some hard-fought stability and security in their lives, the Republican budget would strip health insurance for millions of Americans. It would take away coverage from millions more who rely on Medicaid, including here in Ohio, nursing home patients, children with autism, parents of children with disabilities who need at-home care. It would try once again to gut the guarantee at the center of Medicare by turning it into a voucher program. Instead of the promise that health care will be there for you when you need it, you get a roll of the dice. If you get sick and that voucher is enough to cover the costs of your care, then you win. But if not, you lose. Programs that help low-income parents care for sick children or buy food for their families or put a roof over their heads, all those would be in the crosshairs. And at a time of new and evolving threats overseas, the Republican budget, despite all the talk they have about national security, would actually cut our core national security funding to its lowest level in a decade. And still those at the top aren't asked to sacrifice a single dime. If Republicans believe we should adhere to a set of abstract principles, even though they hurt the middle class, then they should make the case. Show us, prove it to us. If they believe it's time to end the social contract that sustains so many of us, the basic bargain of shared sacrifice and shared responsibility, own it and make the argument. But you can't credibly claim that this vision is about helping working families get ahead. or that this budget's a path to prosperity. It's the same argument I'm having about health care. It was one thing for them to argue against Obamacare before it was put in place. Every prediction they've made about it turned out to be wrong. So it's working better than even I expected. But it doesn't matter. Evidence be damned. It's still a disaster. Well, why? I mean, the truth is, the budget they're putting forward and the theories they're putting forward are a path to prosperity for those who have already prospered. And in that sense, it's a story of retreat. And I'm offering a different path. The budget I've put forward is built on middle-class economics. The idea that everybody does best when everybody gets their fair shot and everybody's doing their fair share, everybody plays by the same set of rules. And it reflects the realities of the new economy by giving every American the tools they need to get ahead in a fast-paced, highly competitive, constantly changing world. It means helping working families feel more secure in an ever-changing economy. That's why my budget makes new investments to make it easier for folks to afford child care in college and health care and paid leave and retirement, lowering the taxes of working families, putting thousands of dollars back into their pockets each year. Middle-class economics means preparing Americans to earn higher wages down the road. That's why my budget makes new investments from pre-K to mid-career job training. I want to make sure all our kids get a great education from the earliest age, and that young people can afford to go to college without getting buried under a mountain of debt. And so we're working with private companies and community colleges and universities and businesses to provide apprenticeships and on-the-job training and other pathways in the middle class. And I've proposed making 2 years of community college as free and universal as high school is today, to up our game. A third, middle-class economics means building the most competitive economy anywhere so that our businesses can keep churning out high-wage jobs for our workers to fill. And right before I came here, I went to Magnet. It's a manufacturing incubator right here in Cleveland, where smaller companies are making everything from airplane parts and medical devices to whiskey. I did not sample the whiskey before I came here, although I'm taking a sample home. And this partnership is bringing good manufacturing jobs back to Cleveland. The Republican budget would cut the whole thing entirely. If something's working, why would we get rid of it? We should invest in it. Which is why today I announced nearly $500 million in new public and private investment for American manufacturing. And that includes a new manufacturing hub that will make America a leader in producing high-tech fabrics for uniforms our soldiers wear in battle. 21st century businesses need 21st century infrastructure, which is why my budget invests in modern ports and stronger bridges and faster trains and the fastest internet, and invests in basic research so that the jobs and industries of the future are created right here in the United States. And we can pay for these investments in a responsible way, not by adding the deficit. We just need to cut wasteful loopholes and ask those at the very top to pay their fair share and reform our tax code to make our businesses more competitive. And we can keep our exports and protect our workers with a strong new trade deal, first in Asia, then in Europe, that aren't just free but are also fair. I've had a lot of conversations with the delegation from Ohio about this, because here in Ohio, you saw firsthand a lot of past trade deals didn't always live up to the hype. And that's why the trade deal I'm negotiating now, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, would reform NAFTA with higher labor standards, higher environmental standards, new tools to hold countries accountable, would focus on the impact it's having on American workers, and would make sure that the rules of the 21st century economy in some of the largest markets in the world aren't written by China. They need to be written by the United States of America, and that's what this does. So, helping hardworking families make ends meet, giving them the tools they need for a new economy, revving the engines of growth and competitiveness. That's what middle-class economics offers. That's where America needs to go. If we make these investments in ourselves and our prosperity and our future, this economy is not just going to be stronger a year from now or 5 years from now, it'll be stronger for decades. And it falls upon us now